Alright, so in today's video I'm gonna take a look at custom items, a Minecraft plugin for Paper and Spigot servers that allows you to create custom items in your Minecraft server. It is actually as cool as it sounds. So the creator of this plugin actually reached out to me and he was like, KasaiSora, I made a plugin, it's pretty cool, would you like to check it out? Now this particular plugin really caught my interest because being able to create custom items, that's just really cool. It is something that you would normally only see in mods. People can make custom items, but they can only add them in the game through mods. This plugin works on every Minecraft Paper or Spigot server, so you don't have to mod anything for it. Just drag it into your plugins folder and you're ready to go. So in today's video I will be giving a tutorial on how to use custom items and how you can actually create custom items inside of a Minecraft Paper or Spigot server. Now 3 more things before we start. First of all, I'm not sponsored in any way. This guy reached out to me, he said, KasaiSora, I got a great plugin, would you like to check it out? I said yes. He sent me a free copy of the plugin. I reviewed it a bit, I checked on all the important details, and now we're making a tutorial. So I'm not sponsored, I'm not receiving anything from this except for a free copy of the plugin. Now like I already mentioned, I got a free copy of this plugin, meaning that usually this plugin costs money. It is a premium paid plugin. You can purchase it from Polymart, of course link will be in the description of this video, but just know before going into this tutorial that it's not a free plugin. You will have to pay something for it. It is fully up to you if it's worth it for you or not. I would recommend watching the video, checking it out, and after that you may be able to decide better. Now the third thing, this plugin has a lot of features, and many of them are actually accessible in game, but some you will actually need to access outside of the game. So you will need to dive into the config file and actually do some light coding there to add other features to your custom item. Because I want to keep this tutorial as simple as possible, inside of this video I will only focus on the features that you can actually access in-game. So for example, if you've made a custom item, you can also add a custom texture. But to do that, you will have to actually edit files and do stuff outside of the game. So I'm not gonna cover that. I'm only gonna cover things that you can actually do from in-game GUIs. And the last thing before we start, of course, make sure to leave a like on this video and also check if you're subscribed to the channel. My analytics shows me that most people watch my videos are actually not subscribed. Even though it only takes a second of your day, it would really mean a ton, and you can always unsubscribe in the future if you change your mind. And then without any further ado, let's dive right into it. So in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to create a custom item using the Custom Items plugin. So to get started we're going to type /CUI create, and after that we have to type in a name. Now I thought of creating a new type of apple. I'm gonna create a toxic apple. So I'm gonna type CUI create toxic apple. There we go. Now we are inside of the item creation menu. Now over here in the top left you got the exit without saving button, and in the top right you got the save and exit button. We're gonna start with the eye of Ender, which is actually item ID. Click to change the custom items ID. Now over here to the right we got the friendly name. In this case the friendly name is just toxic apple. I think that's fine, but if you want to change it you can of course change it here. Now the way you would want to change this is you can actually click on it, and then in chat you can just type your new name. So let's do toxic apple, but then with a space between it. There we go. The friendly name is now toxic apple, and over here the item ID is still toxic apple. Now I could also change this to a more usual Minecraft item ID. So normally you would see it something like toxic and then underscore apple, something like that. Look at that, toxic underscore apple, and then this will be toxic apple. Yeah, that's fine. Now the next thing we're gonna take a look at is the call block, which actually says can it be used generically. By default it says no, and in this case we're gonna keep it on no. So what does this actually do? Well, it basically already explains it in the description. Whether or not the item can be used as a normal Minecraft item, in smelting, recipes, etc. So an apple is actually a very bad example. Let's say I would want to make a carrot, a custom type of carrot, a toxic carrot for example. There is actually a crafting recipe with a carrot, which is of course carrot on a stick. Now if I would flip this to yes, I would be able to make a carrot on a stick with the custom toxic carrot I've created. Now if I would leave this to no, it will make it more independent. It will make it more of a unique item. So then with the toxic carrot you actually can't create a carrot on a stick, only with a normal carrot. So can the item you're making into a custom item actually be used generically? In my case I'm gonna leave it on no. I'm making a toxic apple, not a normal apple, and I I don't think there are any crafting recipes with a normal apple, but if there are any, I don't want people to use my toxic apple. It's a toxic apple, not the normal one, so no, people can't use it generically. The next thing will be consumable. Now for some reason, it has exactly the same description as can it be used generically. I don't know why that exactly is, but if you want your item to be consumable, you will have to turn this to yes. In my case, I'm making a toxic apple. I wouldn't recommend eating it, but you can eat it. It's toxic, so you will get sick, but you can eat it. So consumable will go to yes. The next one will be enchantable. Can you enchant the item? You can't enchant my toxic apple, but let's say I will make a new type of pickaxe, for example, then yes, of course you will want people to be able to enchant that new pickaxe. So in that case, you will need to put this to yes. In my case, I'm gonna leave it on no. Glows. Sure. After this, we're already gonna create the item. We're far from done, but we already have to create the item to do the rest of the steps. So let's click on the pickaxe and let's get an item from my inventory. In this case, I want to make a toxic apple, so a normal apple would just be the easiest. Gonna hold the apple in my hand and then type set in chat. And there we go. We got an apple. This will be my toxic apple. Now the next one will be set custom ID. And I'm actually gonna skip this one. So with this feature, you can actually add a custom texture to your custom item. The thing is, to be able to get this working, you will actually have to do lots of stuff outside of the game. So as far as I understand, you will need a server with a server texture pack on it. Then of course you will have to create a custom texture, and then somehow you will have to add that custom texture to your server texture pack. You will have to give it a specific texture ID, and you can set that ID over here, so the game will actually recognize it, and you can grab that texture and change this apple into that custom texture. It is actually quite a complicated process, and I want to keep this video simple, so I'm not going over it right now. So our toxic apple will just look like a regular red apple, but then it's glowing. Now, if many people are actually interested in how you can add a custom texture to your custom item, then let me know in the comments, and later I will make a video about it. Now, the name tag will be set display name. The nice thing about this one is that you can actually use color codes. So by using this symbol, you can set the display name to another color. In my case, I'm gonna make it blue, and then I'm gonna call it toxic apple. There we go. Now my apple will actually have the blue name, toxic apple. It's coming along nicely. Now you can also edit the item's lore. So we can basically set the description the item will have. So in white, I'm gonna give it the description. This is and then we're gonna make it blue again, toxic apple. This is a toxic apple. Exit. There we go, and then go back. Nice. Toxic apple. This is a toxic apple. How beautiful is that? It's coming along. Now come actually the two most important features. Adding a crafting recipe and adding triggers. So first of all, let's add a crafting recipe. So we're just gonna click here on the crafting table, and after that we're gonna click on the pickaxe, which says create a new recipe. There we go. And now over here, we can create our own custom recipe for toxic apple. So do we want this item to be craftable? Of course. So let's go and get something that is toxic. A wither rose. Let's grab a wither rose and an apple. And together they will be a toxic apple. Why not? So to reopen your item creation menu, type something in chat. I'm gonna type D in chat and it's back. Now I'm gonna put my wither rose in there and my apple in there. So this will be the crafting recipe. Now before saving, there are a few things you will still have to change. For example, the set result amount. So how many toxic apples do you want to get by crafting this recipe? Well, I'm just gonna set this to 1. So let's type 1. There we go. If you add an apple and a wither rose together, you will get 1 toxic apple. Now I'm also gonna click here on the crafting table to make the recipe shapeless. So a shaped recipe and a shapeless recipe. What's the difference? Well, basically right now this is a shaped recipe, and that means that I will have to put the apple exactly in the middle. I will have to put the wither rose exactly in this spot, otherwise it won't work. So if I would create this recipe like this, with it being a shaped recipe, then in the crafting table, if I would put the wither rose over here, it won't create a toxic apple, because it's a shaped recipe. The wither rose would need to be exactly here. Now I want this recipe to be completely shapeless. It doesn't matter where you put the apple, it doesn't matter where you put the wither rose. If there's an apple and a wither rose inside of the crafting table, it should make a toxic apple wherever they are. So I'm gonna make it shapeless, and there we go. is now a shapeless recipe. But for example, if you're making a pickaxe, then of course you want it to be a shaped recipe. So it's now shapeless. We will only get one toxic apple when we craft it, so that's all fine. Let's go to save and exit. There we go. Now, like you can see, we got a shapeless recipe over here, and the shapeless recipe requires an apple and a wither rose. Beautiful. Okay, let's go back. Now, let's add triggers. The most important part of this whole item creation section. So triggers is actually what makes your custom item a custom item. This is what will do the trick. I mean, we've made a way to craft the custom item. We've set how it looks, we've set how it's displayed, but now we actually need to make it a custom item. We need to make it something unique. So we're gonna add triggers to it. So let's click on the command block and let's add a trigger. And we're gonna click on the command block again, add a trigger. There we go. And now we have to choose a trigger. So basically we're gonna tell this item, when this happens, you do this. Right? Makes sense? No? Okay, well, you will see. In my case, I'm making a toxic apple. What do you do with an apple? You eat it. You eat an apple. So these here are all triggers. Right click air, right click block, right click, left click. Over here we got mine. We got right click entity. Here we got projectile shot, drop, pick up. These are all different triggers. I'm going for consume because of course you will consume an apple. That's what we're gonna do with it. So the trigger should be consume. Something needs to happen as soon as we consume it. There we go. The trigger has been added. Now you will see that there is a bread here. We're gonna click on the bread and now we're inside of the trigger consume menu. Now over here we're gonna click on the command block again that says add an action. So click on it and now we're gonna add an action. So we already told the apple that something needs to happen as soon as we eat it. Now we need to tell the apple what will happen when we eat it. So I was thinking, let's set the health of the player to 1. We want the player to have 1 heart as soon as he eats this apple. So the toxic apple will not intoxicate you, it will just basically instantly kill you. So I'm going to the action that says set health. In my case, it's the redstone block. Let's click on set health, then it will be added in the menu. So over here you got the set health action. The amount is still 0. So we're gonna click here on the amount and we're gonna set the value to 1. So the player will only have 1 health as soon as he eats it. Now, of course, why would you eat a toxic apple if it only lowers your health a lot? I mean, the player needs to get something out of it. So we're gonna add another action and we're gonna add XP. There we go. So now we got add XP. We're gonna also give an amount and the amount will be 10,000. There we go. Beautiful. 10,000. So back at the main menu, you can see we now have 1 trigger. The trigger is consume. So something will happen as soon as we consume the custom item. Now the things that will happen are add XP and set health. Now if we click on the consume button again, you can see what exactly it does. So set health, it sets the amount of health you have to 1. And also adds 10,000 XP to the total XP you have. That's perfect. I love it. So I'm completely satisfied with my custom item as it is right now. I think it's perfect. My toxic apple. Let's go and click on save and exit. Now the items should already be available right now. Though I found lots of the times you will actually have to restart your server before it works. So I'm gonna restart the server and I will be right back. Alright, so here we are back on the server again after its restart. So the custom item should be working now. All you will need to do to get your custom item is type /CUI give and then the player name, in my case KasaiSora, and then we're gonna type the ID of the item. So at the beginning of the item creation process, we actually changed my item ID. Remember, we changed it to toxic apple. There we go. We got 1 toxic apple. Look how cool that looks. So now let's go to game mode survival and let's get a little bit hungry. Let's exercise a little bit. Because of course right now I can't eat it. I'm not hungry at all. We've made something that we need to consume to get the effect, so I'm just gonna run around until I can finally eat this apple. Maybe jumping off this cliff will work. Oh jeez. I don't want to die! Okay, I'm still alive. It's fine. Ooh, it's starting. Beautiful. It is time to consume my toxic apple. Ooh, okay. You can see that I'm already regenerating. That's because it filled up some hunger. I mean, I was a little bit hungry, but the apple did its job. It filled 2 hunger for me, which is great. But it also put my health to just 1 heart, which is why I was almost dying. Also, it gave me 10,000 XP, which translates to 63 levels in game. I actually didn't know that, but now you know. I'm getting hungry again. I want another toxic apple. But this time we're gonna craft one ourselves. So I got a regular apple from a tree and I got a wither rose for some reason. So let's go in the crafting table. Let's place our apple down and let's place our wither rose down. And there you go. Toxic apple. Now it doesn't matter in which orientation you place this. So you can place the apple wherever you want and you can place the wither rose wherever you want. It doesn't matter a single bit because we made it a shapeless crafting recipe. We actually put it in the menu like this. If you would have made it a shaped recipe, this will be the only orientation that would actually give you a toxic apple. But because we made it shapeless, we can pretty much put everything wherever we want. Which is freaking awesome. Let's create a toxic apple. There we go. Let's eat it again. And, oh geez, half a heart. But I got 83 levels. That's worth it, I guess. Now there's one last thing I want to show you. When I actually received this plugin from the creator, I checked if there were already some custom items there. So I did CUI list and I found a magic stick and a compressed cobblestone. Now, I don't freaking care about the magic stick, but the compressed cobblestone actually got my attention. So what it does, if you have a crafting table and if you have some cobblestone, and then we go in the crafting table and we put all the cobblestone in here like this, you will get a compressed cobblestone. Now, that's not that complicated. I mean, you could create this very, very easily with a custom item, just like we did before. But the thing that actually caught my interest is if you put it back in the crafting table, it will give you 9 cobblestone again. Now that's not something that we could do from the menu we were just in. And until recently there actually wasn't a way to do it in game. I actually contacted the owner. I was like, I saw your compressed cobblestone example. I want to know how you did it. I want to know how you like uncompressed it. So he said that's a feature that you can access through the files. You can do it in game, but I will add it in game for you. I will send you a new copy of the plugin where it's actually possible. So I was like, that's awesome, man. I would love to see it. So the way he uncompressed the compressed cobblestone is that he actually edited the recipe of cobblestone. So cobblestone normally isn't craftable. Well, he added a recipe to cobblestone and that recipe is compressed cobblestone. So in crafting recipes, you can actually use custom items. So in theory, one custom item can create another custom item. Now to edit the crafting recipe of a native Minecraft item, all you will need to do is type /CUI edit and then we're gonna type, for example, apple. There we go. If we go here to the item, you can see editing native Minecraft item. That's what we want. We want to edit this native Minecraft item. So let's go to edit recipes. There we go. And then we're gonna create a recipe. And I want lots of apples in my server. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put 1 cobblestone over here in the middle of the crafting table. We're gonna make it a shapeless recipe. And then we're gonna set the amount to 40. There we go. Just something random. Now we're gonna click on save and exit, go back, and then we're going to click on save and exit again. Right now, if we place down a crafting table, then go in the crafting table and place 1 cobblestone in the middle, you will see that I'm a complete idiot because 1 cobblestone inside of a crafting table already has a crafting recipe. So I will need to change this again. Jesus. CUI edit apple, click on the crafting recipe, create a crafting recipe, and then we're gonna just put 3 cobblestone on a line. There we go. Still, I want 40, so let's put in 40, save and exit, go back, save and exit, and now I'm gonna restart the server just to be sure. So here we are, back in game. Let's go to the crafting table and let's place 3 cobblestone in a line beside each other, and like you can see, we will get 40 freaking apples. How awesome is that? So like I said before, also very important to know, you can actually use custom items inside of a crafting recipe. That's how the creator uncompressed the cobblestone, but we can also like purify an apple, for example. So I'm gonna do GUI give apple. Oh wait, I forgot my username. There we go. KasaiSora toxic apple. We got the toxic apple. Then we're gonna do CUI edit And then we're going to the normal apple. We're gonna add a crafting recipe, and the crafting recipe will be a toxic apple. Then we will go to save. Go back, save again, restart the server, and after restarting, if we put a toxic apple inside of a crafting table, you will see that it turns into a normal apple. We have basically purified the toxic apple. It's not toxic anymore, it's now just a normal Minecraft apple. So basically we did exactly the same thing here as with the compressed cobblestone. We turned a custom item into a native Minecraft item. Now it's just a regular apple again, and you can use it for whatever you want. So if we got a, let's see, wither rose, and we put it inside of the crafting table just to show you that it actually is a native Minecraft item. If we put it in here, then we can make a toxic apple again, and then like this. And yeah, you get it. You get it. It's freaking amazing. This plugin is so cool. You can do so many stuff with it. Literally, your imagination is the limit. You can make so many cool custom items with this plugin. It's absolutely amazing. I love it. I'm just not that creative in creating items myself, but I could imagine some people benefiting from this plugin a lot and actually creating a whole ton of custom items that really enhance their Minecraft server. I mean, in theory, you could make a whole new type of ore. You could make it so that if you combine gold and silver together, you would get another type of ore, and you can actually craft pickaxes with it. You can use it to make armor, and all the armors, all the pickaxes, and of course also the ore itself would all be custom items. And then with the custom ingots, you can create the armor, because with a custom item, you can craft another custom item. And like that, you can literally add a whole new dimension in your server. You can like expand all that's possible in your Minecraft server by a lot. But also, if you don't want to add a whole new type of ore, for example, you could also use it to make uncraftable items actually craftable. So an elytra, for example, is an uncraftable item. You would have to find it inside of one of those end cities. Well, you could actually make it so that an elytra is a craftable item on your server. Of course, it will be with very rare materials, but nonetheless, you could make it so that an elytra is actually craftable. Also, things like nether stars. You can get a nether star, but you can only get it by actually killing a wither. You could make it so that a nether star is also a craftable item. But also, some very simple items could benefit from being craftable in other ways than just the regular native Minecraft way. Just a few custom items or a few new recipes could already make the experience on your server a lot better. And if you got the money and you're looking for a plugin that can create custom items, I would highly recommend this one. Though, like I said, it's not free, you will have to pay something for it, and not for everyone that will actually be worth it. Also, some people might prefer to look for a free alternative. That is of course 100% okay, and I completely understand that, and I'm pretty sure the creator of this plugin also understands that. But for the people who do have the money and want like the best of the best custom item plugin for Minecraft, this is it, and you will be able to purchase it with the link in the description of this video. And then guys, that will be all for now. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and if you're new to the channel, not subscribed yet, and you're enjoying the content, make sure to smash that subscribe button and click on the notification bell. You would really help me out by doing that, you actually would. And then that's all for now, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.